Hello, thank you for joining me on the mat today. We begin sitting on the knees, lifting up through the crown of the head, connecting to our breath, taking hands to heart center, noticing the energy that lives in the hands as it transfers back and forth. Maybe we take the right hand to the heart and the left to the belly, helping to feel the breath as it moves through the body. Feeling the deep expansion on our inhales and the gentle contraction on the exhales. Not forcing your breath to be any way, just observing it in its natural state. Taking 2 more nice, gentle rounds of breath. And then releasing the hands. Inhale, reach them above the head, and exhale, bring them to heart center. Opening the eyes if we found them closed, and gently making your way into wide child's pose. Bringing the toes together and the knees as wide as the edge of the yoga mat. Drawing the fingertips out as we melt the heart down. Surrendering our body to the mat as we release any tension, feeling the weight of our muscles as they're supported by the earth, lengthening through the spine all the way from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Maybe setting an intention for your practice or for your day, what you want it to look like, how you want to feel. Observing where you are in this moment, passing no judgment, sending yourself love. You deserve to love yourself just in the same way you give love to everyone else. Taking one deep breath to connect to yourself, coming into the body, quieting the mind, before gently pressing up through the hands, lifting the chest, taking the knees together and making our way into tabletop. Finding one big inhale and then exhale to round through the back. Inhale, slide back into child's pose. Take one breath. And exhale, press up all fours. Inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. And exhale, press through the hands for cat. Inhale, child, finding length. And exhale, tabletop. Taking a round of cat-cow. Beginning to synchronize breath with movement as we move through this mini flow. Taking 2 more rounds at your own pace, just enjoying this small movement of waking up the spine and being with your breath. Meeting back in tabletop whenever you've finished. And gently sliding the hands forward, coming into puppy pose. Opening up through the chest and the shoulders as we reach the fingertips forward. We can stay here, or if we'd like to deepen the expression of the shoulders, We can cross the feet at the ankles, hugging them into the hips as we melt the chest down. This is kind of an intense back bend, so listen to your body here and what feels good to you. Knowing that we can always come out if we've gone a little bit too far, if we can't breathe easy. Observing the body and what we feel, effectively calming the mind with every breath. Whenever you're ready, we can gently release and carefully press up, coming back through tabletop pose. To take the right knee in through the chest and make your way into pigeon. Taking our time to settle in and open the hips. Steepling the fingertips on the other side of the mat, helping to lift the chest, spreading through the collarbones, sitting up nice and tall. Sending the pelvis down into the mat as the left leg reaches long and strong behind. On your next inhale, take in love and positivity, and exhale anything that's no longer serving you, any habits or thoughts. Making sure our mind is a beautiful place to be, since we live there all the time. Take one more deep breath, filling the lungs with air, and then exhale to gently come out of our pigeon pose, swinging the left leg around, placing the shin on top of the right. If fire log pose is a little bit too intense, we can always place the foot in front of the other leg, finding a little bit more space in the hips. Wherever we are today, honoring ourselves and our bodies in this yoga journey and the journey of life. Keeping the sit bones rooted down into the mat, maybe taking a slight forward fold, opening through the glutes, relieving pressure in the lower back. Finding your breath, letting it help you deepen. And gently lifting back up to neutral spine, untuck the leg to plant the left foot, sweeping the right behind, coming into pigeon pose on the other side. Making sure to find any minor adjustments until we're fully comfortable. Until we find that spot that we can settle in and fully release. Surrendering the body to help us surrender and calm the mind. Holding loving space for whatever may come up for you today. Especially in pigeon pose, this deep hip opener. All of your feelings and thoughts are valid. We don't need to resist them. We hold them, and when they no longer are needed, we can lovingly and consciously release. Resisting the urge to fidget or to think about what we need to do after this practice. Take one big breath in And exhale, expel it all out. Whenever you're ready, we can come into our fire log pose. Finding length in the spine on the inhale, and maybe folding forward on the exhale. Finding a gentle release, no forceful movements or actions. Knowing that when we slow down, a lot of times we get there faster. Consciously anchoring ourselves back with our breath whenever our mind wanders away. Coming back into this moment, into this practice for yourself. Gently lifting up, sweeping the feet behind to sit on the knees. Planting the hands behind the feet, fingertips towards toes. Exhale to press down through the hands and the shins as we send the pelvis up towards the sky. Maybe dropping the head back if that feels okay for the neck. Feeling this intense shoulder opening in the front and long line in the thighs. Breathing, not holding our breath, using it to help us. Sending the hips up a little bit higher on this next exhale, and then gently releasing. Planting the hands and stepping up, taking the right foot towards the hands, coming into pyramid pose. Squaring off the hips, making sure we found the correct distance between the feet. Grounding down before lifting the arms. Reaching the crown of the head forward, finding a nice long line in the spine. Keeping a micro bend in the front knee. Using your breath to open through the backs of the legs. Beautiful. Feeling grounded and strong as we connect to ourselves and the mat. Releasing the hands, take the left to the foot and reach the right behind, coming into a slight twist. We can always bend the front knee if we need a little bit more room, or skip this altogether. Inhale, big through the nose, and exhale to release, framing the foot, stepping back into downward facing dog. Reaching the fingertips out as we send the heels down into the mat. Holding your static downward facing dog for 2 more breaths. Trying to reach the chest towards the legs, finding as much length and space as possible. Grounding down through the hands as we grip the mat with the fingers. And grounding through the left foot, raise the right leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale to bend the knee, flex the foot, and stack the hips. Maybe gazing underneath the left shoulder. Using your breath to steady, staying here nice and strong. 1 more breath. And then on your next exhale, straighten the leg, 3-legged dog. Release back to downward facing dog for 1 breath to reset. Before taking the left foot up, coming into our pyramid pose. Finding what position feels best to you in your body. before maybe releasing the arms up towards the sides, activating the legs, connecting to the core, finding a balance between stretch and strengthen here as we reach the chest forward. Two more breaths in this static stretch before maybe releasing and coming into our twist. Right hand finds the foot and left reaches up, spiraling through the chest, stretching the skin between the scapula. And on your next exhale, gently release, stepping back to downward facing dog. Taking a little rest here, finding a few breaths to reset and ground down. Before gently sweeping the left leg behind, keeping the hips square, opening through the hip flexors. Before gently bending the knee, stacking the hips, flexing the foot, sending it to the other side of the room, squeezing the glutes together, gripping through the fingertips. One more breath. And then exhale to straighten the leg, releasing to downward facing dog. Gently gazing at the hands and walking the hands back towards the toes, finding a little dangling pose. Taking your time to get there, bending the knees and melting the chest towards the thighs. Grasping opposite elbows, letting the head hang, feeling the blood flow to the heart and the top of the head as we breathe. Quieting the mind, just noticing the sound and the feel of your breath. On your next exhale, release the hands and roll up as slowly as you can, feeling each vertebra as we slowly stand up, keeping the chin tucked until the very end. Releasing into mountain pose, grounding down through the feet. Inhale, raise the arms above the head, interlacing the fingers, palms face up. Crossing the right ankle over the left, taking a side bend to the right. One big breath, and then exhale to release, switching sides. Ending our class here today, standing up. Exhale to release the hands, coming into cactus arms. Drawing the shoulder blades together, nice and strong. Lifting the heart up to the sky. Breathing in all of the love and possibilities and positivity. Knowing that you have all of the power inside you to make this life whatever you want it to be. We'll take our last breath together. Inhale, reach the hands up, and exhale, draw them back to heart center. Thank you for sharing your energy with me.